Hello, on the web here, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of piano by ear concepts, and I'm going to introduce to you the difference between a major and a minor chord. I'm gonna go over what a chord is and how a major chord sounds different than the minor chord and how those show up in songs. That way, when you're listening to songs going after this video, you'll be able to hear whether a song is in a major or a minor key based on the chords that you can hear, which I think will be pretty fun. So before I get into that, I want to give you some of the basics when it comes to understanding the names of the keys. So we have C here, right? So the white keys are named by alphabetical letters, A to G, and then C is going to always be the white key to the left of the two black keys. So if you find any two black keys and you see the white key to the left, it's always going to be C. After C is D. After D is E, after E is F, and then G, just like the alphabet. After G, the alphabet resets with A, and then after A is B, and then after B, you have C, which basically restarts the sequence. And then it just starts over, so the whole piano is just the same 7 keys that repeat themselves over again, in case you are a complete beginner. Now, what is a chord? Now, if we have, let's say, I'm trying to figure out how to approach this. All right, so let me just do it this way. There is what we call a major triad, and a triad is just a 3-note chord. That's why it's called a triad. So there are major triads, and then there are minor triads. So a chord sounds something like this, or it could sound like this, or it could sound like this. Sorry, let me see, I had it wrong. So these are all chords. When you have groups of notes that are played either together to create a chord, or they can be broken up. But basically, if you were to combine them together, they would create a chord. Now, there's certain criteria that these groups of notes have to have in order for it to be considered a chord, because you can't just play 3 notes like this and it be a chord. It has to have a certain calculation, which I'm going to get into right now. So if you wanted to build a major triad, and there's more than one, there's a major triad for each key, right? So if I have what's called a C major triad, that means C is the root, and then you have the next key, and then you have the next key. So with C being the root, if I wanted to build a major triad, it would sound something, it would basically be built like this. So you have C, and then you go 4 more keys over. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to the next key. And then after that, you have to get to the final key. From here, you count 3 extra keys. So you go from here, you go 1, 2, 3. And then you play them together. And the reason why it's called a C major triad is because it sounds happy, right? So if I were to play a song, and I may have used this in a different example, if I were to play a song that involves major chords, it would sound something like this. It would be like this. So that is why major chords are important, right? Now, I'm going to introduce to you the minor triad and how it can transform the same exact song. Before I get into that, I want to remind you, if you're looking for hands-on group coaching with me, Zoom lessons, like just very flexible lessons, I do have a 6-month group coaching program. If that's something that you're interested in, I do have a free 7-day access introductory series that all my students have to go through before they go through the live lessons. I normally charge for the intro series, but there's a link down below where if you click on it, you can get 7 days access to that intro series at no cost. You can go through the videos. You can see if it's a good fit for you, if you like it. And if you want to do the group coaching, you have an opportunity to enroll before the 7-day period ends, and you get to enroll at a discount. By the time you get through the group coaching, you'll be able to play basic melodies and basic chords in all 12 keys. If you want something that's a bit more self-paced, if you don't need the live lesson, you want something that you go through on your own, I have my online piano training program. You can access that also in the description box for $1 for the first 30 days. And if you like it, you can continue for automatically $29 a month until you cancel. You can cancel at any time no pressure, no obligation. So you have both those options in the description box if you are interested. Now back to this, I want to introduce you to a minor triad. So let's say if we were dealing with the C minor triad. So if you remember, I said the calculation for the major triad is you do 4 keys and then you do 3 keys. The minor triad is the reverse, where you do 3 keys and you do 4 keys. And you'll notice that that's not the only difference between the major and minor triad. So we start with C and then we count 3 keys first. 1, 2, 3. So automatically you might hear a difference in sound. And then from this key, you're going to count 4 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you play them together, you'll hear that it sounds a little bit spookier or a bit sadder. So the C major triad and the C minor triad. So again, the minor triad has a calculation of 3 keys and 4 keys, and that can be for any of the keys, by the way. So if you start with, let's say A, if you wanted to build an A major triad, you start with A, you count 4 keys and then 3. If you wanted to build an A minor triad, you would start with A, count 3, and then 4. So that's for any of the keys. But that's not the point. There's a whole different, video on that. But basically, if I were to take the same song, the same Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song, and use minor chords, you can hear how it transforms the sound of the song from this to this. There's that minor chord. So those are examples of how a major chord can transform or make a song sound one way, and how a minor chord can make that same song sound a different way. So again, this is just concepts just to kind of get you to understand what happens in piano. And again, if you hear a song now going forward, you may even be able to hear if the song is in a major key or a minor key, if it's using major chords or minor chords. So hopefully this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Thanks for watching.